Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the skies. Hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? Let us die young or let us live forever. We don't have the power, but we never say never. Sitting in a sandpit, life is a short trip. The music's for the sad man. Can you imagine when this race is won? Turn our golden faces into the sun. Praising our leaders, we're getting in tune. The music's played by the madman. Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever?
Hello everyone, welcome to Real 10. I'm your host, Nano Romero, and our special guest today is Kate Paukovic. Welcome, Kate, and welcome home.
Thanks, Sam.
Well, Kate, my first question for you in this segment is, what does it feel like being back here at the FC Manitoba Center?
It's really fun. There's lots of good memories I have here. I think it was a really good place to establish FC Manitoba, and I'm really grateful I was a part of that, and it just brings back a lot of good memories.
The one thing that we talked about in the last segment, in those quick going into the 18, as we say, there was rapid questions, and those rapid questions, there was one opportunity, which was FC Manitoba, with one we won was work. I want to elaborate a little bit on that, just because on the opportunity side, now you're in a different part of your soccer career. How has FC Manitoba helped you prepare yourself for that next part?
I think FC Manitoba obviously was a really good way to get into the university world. We did a bunch of travel trips in kind of the summer of my grade 10 year. We went to Halifax and then we went to BC, and that's where I got in contact with my now coach of Trinity Western. So I think it kind of got me ready for what that would look like and helped to open me up to the opportunities that I did have outside of Winnipeg.
Well, Kate, another question we always have here at 1v1 is, your talent, it must have came from somewhere. Usually we have training that we get ready during those years of forming you as a player, but there's something obviously there. Somebody must have played sports, somebody must have played soccer. In your family, some people will say it's your mom, some people will say it's your dad.
Yeah.
So I want to hear from Kate, who is a soccer player in your family?
Actually, my dad's dad. So my grandpa on my dad's side loved soccer. He lived for it, and yeah, my dad never really played. He was more of a football guy. My mom played basketball, volleyball, so none of them directly really played soccer, but I think my love comes from my grandpa and just hearing the stories my dad would share about him and how much he loved the game. And my sister got into it, so I loved watching her. Yeah, she was a big role model for me in soccer, and yeah, so I'd say those two probably.
And the competitive nature obviously also comes, that's a personal thing. You can't teach that. So
Yeah.
we could come and help you with development and how to hit a ball maybe and how to move. But the competitive nature is just, it's yours. Or you have it or you don't, right? And you do have it. So that competitive nature, as you say, your sister was competitive, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that helped in
Yeah.
those years of getting developed, right?
Yeah.
The one question I will have is, what was your favorite number? What's your number that you like playing with on your jersey? Is there a favorite number when you came into the program? Is your favorite number now? Like, what's your favorite number as a jersey?
Coming in, I was always 24. That was my sister's number, and so I kind of wanted to carry on while we were at the same club, being 24 as well. Coming to 1v1 though, I was given number 10, and there's a lot of very well-established players out there that wear number 10, so I felt very honored to have that on my back, and so that definitely did become one of my favorite numbers as well.
Well, how better is this? People watching, Real 10 interviewing a Real 10. It can't be better than that. One of the most talented players I've coached, and it's nice to have her here with us in the podcast, and obviously for the 1v1 TV. In this new segment, it's called Real 10 Moments. Kate, I'm gonna grab an object, and I want you to think about it. Tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Well, that's, I guess, our first MSA Cup that we won to take us to U15 Nationals. There's a lot of good memories there. This was our first season kind of together in MSA. And yeah, we had a very dominant year. We were all very excited to go to Nationals, and a lot of good things happened after that.
Along with this season, did anything happen during that season that kind of brings you back in memory personally, not only as a team, but for yourself? Like anything happened personally during that season?
I battled a couple ankle injuries that kept me out for a good chunk of the early season, and worked my way to come back and be able to play with the team in that tournament. So that was pretty exciting for me. I think it also was a great year in learning more about myself as a player and kind of the ability that I had to play at a higher level. And yeah, it kind of established that I had made the right choice in moving to 1v1.
Our second item.
Well, that's the banner from U15 Nationals. We won. We're the first Manitoban team to win U15 Nationals as a women's team, so that was pretty exciting for us. I think it showed all of our hard work had paid off, and yeah, I think we made a name for ourselves in 1v1 kind of across Canada.
I like this. The banner means a lot. I mean, obviously the sacrifices the team made to get here, individually, the sacrifices you made to get yourself ready for that. Is there anything in particular you remember from that last game that kind of comes to your memory and to your mind right now?
I think we won that 2-0 against PEI, but yeah, I think it was a hard-fought game. Definitely the best team we had played out there. We scored our first goal, and I think from then on I kind of knew it was ours to win. Yeah, I was very nervous, maybe not my best game, but at the end it didn't really matter. Like, I was just so excited that we had won, and just seeing everyone so excited and my parents being there, it really meant a lot.
For me, I'm going to tell you, the thing that always comes back to my mind is us winning the game, but me looking at you and you having your hands on your knees. And I know there was an emotion there, and as a coach, we kind of look at players who at different times in the years have struggled because of an injury or because anything else happening in the season. But you at that time, I know it all came together, and you kind of thought, okay, we did it. We did something together, and I did it, and I was able to play the whole tournament. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I remember that part, and I remember hugging you, and I said, like, you did it, like, all yours. And it's a real defining moment in my coaching, for sure. Just seeing a player come through was a very emotional moment in my life, for sure. Wow, this one is a special one.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kate?
That was when we played the U17 Argentinian national team. We went to Argentina after we had won nationals. Like I said, we kind of made a name for ourselves. Yeah, that was a super exciting moment for me, especially. Played on an amazing grass field in the stadium. I remember Argentina was coming back, like the men's national team, after winning, and so we had to move kind of where we were going to play because the streets would have been filled. But yeah, it was a super intense game, very physically demanding. It was hot, but it was so exciting, a very professional atmosphere. I got to take the coin toss with the other captain and be with FIFA refs, and we did a whole walkout. It was, yeah, a very cool experience, and I think we showed very well.
Yeah, I think this comes full circle for me. One, I've always been an admirer of great soccer, and Argentina, for me, is probably the best soccer country in the sense of how they play. It's always been what I've liked. My idol is Diego Maradona. With that said, that pretty well tells you. But little things in that trip kind of came full circle. One, when we started 1v1, I'd always say I wanted to be the best academy in Canada. I think we achieved that. In those parts of playing nationals and being recognized as players, as a program that creates and develops players. But I also said I want to be a world-known academy. That created us being in the papers across the world of an academy who played against the national team, which was not heard of. So for me, that brings big, not only gratifying that we did good in that game, because I think one goal here or there, we're in that game and we have a chance at it. But to give that experience to you girls, which was deserved, was great. Also wanted to thank people who were part of that, obviously, that I have the chance. Walter Obregon, which is a dear friend, ex-teammate, for facilitating that and helping us enjoy a bunch playing Belgrano, Talleres, Instituto, Lanús, and of course Angel from Argentino Juniors to help us out. So it was a great time and a great experience that it would be very hard to erase of the high points of myself, my career, but of ours at 1v1 for sure. The next item. Does that bring anything to mind?
Not at the moment.
Good. I would just kind of tell you the injury that you faced, which is great that you don't remember it or that doesn't come to mind. The injury that kind of hurt you, which was the most complicated one. You came back and you were able to bounce back and as if nothing happened, which is great. What did that feel like? Because I never asked you. It's not the point where I was your coach. Didn't want to dwell on that position. I know I'd always tell you you're going to come back stronger because that's the right thing to do, and I believed it. Not only because of your athleticism and your mind, very tough mentally, but how did that feel coming back and trying to get back to that nationals? And I know we all missed you. That's one, but I know you wanted to be there playing for sure, and you got unfair 2-3 minutes of that tournament just because, and the bigger hindsight, I knew it was your career. It wasn't that gold medal that mattered for me anyways.
Yeah, probably the toughest couple months of my life that I've lived so far. I'm sure there will be much more harder things that I face, but yeah, I think I just really felt like I let a lot of people down. I wanted nothing more than to be out there fighting with the girls and battling to try and get our second gold medal. But yeah, it just didn't work out for me. I put in as much work as I could to get back to that point. But yeah, in the end, didn't really make it to where I wanted to be. But like you said, it was either a tournament or it was the rest of my soccer career. And knowing how hard that experience was, I don't know if I would have put it at risk. But yeah, I mean, it was nice I got to play a couple minutes in the finals and got to take a penalty shot. That was a pretty big defining moment, I think, for me, because it showed that I'm able to step up in those big moments. And I mean, being off for a year and a half at that point, I was definitely very nervous, but yeah, I was able to do what I was put on the field to do. And yeah, I think that showed a lot about my character.
And the best part of going back to nationals and going back to back, kind of in the sense of going to nationals when you competed again, that I think took a lot from us, because not only did we go back, everybody knowing who we were now, we still played, I'd say, all the teams, and even in the final, it just didn't bounce our way. And I always said there was games that you could lose, and that one you could lose that way. Getting so many chances, coming across, maybe half, maybe a couple times, really not creating anything, and we were able to show that we should have won that gold medal. But yeah, I'm proud of what it was. I was more upset that it just didn't want to bounce our way. But yeah, it's a great memory that I have. Great that we could kick this one to the curb, and it makes me feel a lot better that you've come back stronger, better, learned how to adapt your game for sure, and that is going to help you in your career and in your life. You're very strong mentally, and you can see the resilience in you. So yeah, I'm just proud of it. That's the end of the segment of the items we have. Stay tuned. There's more after these sponsors. I'd like to welcome The Plug as my major sponsor on Real 10 podcast. Thank you, The Plug. If you need hoodies, custom shirts, anything you're looking for, they can do it for you. Contact The Plug. Thanks again for being my Real 10 sponsor. Well, this segment, just finished that part in Real 10. Now, the one other thing I want to tell you is that we all have, you look at the ball and we all feel different emotions. Who do you like to thank on your career in soccer, obviously? I know parents we had talked about before, but you're in the next chapter in your soccer career, which is university, which is great. It must be tough. First year, you got to play, which is great. You did it well. I watched a couple games. So just this ball, how much respect do you have for the soccer ball? Like I said, if to be a real 10, you have to have some emotions about that ball.
Yeah, I feel like this ball's been in my life for a good chunk of it since I was 3 years old. I've always loved playing soccer, but I think my love really started at my old club, Bonnie Vittel. I had great coaches who kind of facilitated that for me, Steve Drager and Rob Gale, and it took me all the way through to 1v1 with you and Rob Carrera and Enrique. And then, yeah, now I'm at university and I've got great coaches behind me who have helped me develop after my injury and gave me the time to kind of get back. And yeah, I think their patience has been really helpful for me in my recent development.
Good. And the other part is with you looking at that, at the ball, is there any particular player that you've ever looked up to? I've never asked you that. Is there a player that you said World Cup stage, whether it's female or male? Is there anybody you ever looked at soccer and said, well, that's the player I kind of want to emulate, or I want to be better than?
Yeah, I think every girls soccer player from Manitoba looks up to Desiree Scott. I think it shows that someone coming from a small province is able to do things on a national level, and I think that was really inspiring for me to see. I mean, I'm Croatian, so I always look at Luka Modric. He's one of my favorite players, but yeah, I'd say those two majority I look up to.
Yeah, for ourselves here at Real 10, there's no secret that you have different idols in myself. Again, there's Maradona, there's Messi. You kind of go relate to the players who kind of are similar to what you have in your towns, right? So Luka Modric and Desiree, for sure. I see a little bit of those players and how you kind of get to a game and how do you react in the game is seen by what they do on the field also, which is great. Now we're going to go to a segment, Kate. We have 3 questions. Will Kate answer these questions? If she hits the crossbar, she doesn't have to. But if she doesn't have the crossbar, she will be answering these tough questions. See you in a bit. Here's the first question, Kate. In the World Cup, who are you going to be cheering on for? Croatia or Canada? If you hit the post, you don't have to respond.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'm going for Croatia.
Nice. Croatia it is.
Nano, what are your plans after you leave 1v1?
Whoa, that's a tough question. Okay, let's see. Hit the crossbar.
Oh.
Don't have to answer.
Darn.
Don't have to answer. Kate, who's your favorite teammate?
That's a great question. I love all my teammates, first off, but I feel like someone who I've grown really close to in the last year is probably Hannah Wozniak.
Which club or team do you hate the most in Winnipeg? Or do you not like? Maybe sounds better.
Does that count?
That does not count. That's pretty sad.
Why doesn't that count?
It hit the wall first.
But it still hits the crossbar. Okay, that's a tough one. I feel like maybe the biggest rivalry we had was with Southend. While I was here, I think it was always a pretty intense game and one you never wanted to lose, so I guess I would say that. Nano, who's your favorite player you've ever trained?
Okay, let's see. My son, Xavier Romero.
That's a cop-out answer.
That's a beautiful question. The question is, who was detrimental to your soccer career?
Ooh.
Bang on. Good job, Kate.
Thanks. So Nano, you moved away from home at a young age. What would you say was the toughest part about that?
That one, I hit, but I want to answer. The toughest part of moving away at a young age was missing my mother. And that still to today hurts me because it was roughly around 7 years, 8 years that I didn't see her as often. Maybe I've seen her maybe a couple or 3 times. And those were very hard for me to get past why I was doing something, but not being enjoying it with mom. So yeah, I wanted to answer that one. I think that respect goes up for mom a little bit. Now, Kate, I'm going to take you back to a field that might bring you some great memories or not so good memories. Hey, let's go there now. Kate, first question I have for you. September 27th, 2020, 5 o'clock. Does that ring a bell?
Was that our first tryout for 1v1?
Yes, it was. How did you feel that day when you're walking into that WSF South? I think it was called Subway Center at that time.
I was very nervous, but also excited. There was a lot of girls there, a lot of girls from rival clubs, a lot of girls from my club, but I think one of the things that was really awesome was our first drill that we did was a passing drill, and right away I was getting feedback and constructive criticism on how I can make my passes better.
Kate, a question I've always wondered is, I know when you were part of another club, which is Bonnie Vital, and I know you had influence, a lot of people had influence on your career, soccer career. But I did want to ask you, did everybody play you as a defensive mid? Or did we change your position here at 1v1?
I kind of played wherever I wanted. I took the ball and did kind of whatever I felt like I wanted to do. I think coming here, you guys kind of formed me into that holding mid. Rob and Enrique kind of in my first year, and then you later on. And yeah, I came to love it, so.
Kate, this is another question I had. How many goals did you score when you were just starting off with 1v1 the first couple of years? I know you didn't score much. They were all very important goals because I think you could score way more. But I wanted to show you the net is right there, and I'm sure you had more goals before you came to 1v1 than when you were at. Am I correct?
Yeah, you are correct in that. I liked to attack a lot at Bonnie Vital, but I think you guys kind of formed me into a more controlled player and worked a lot on my effect on our build-up and kind of leading to those goals rather than scoring them.
Kate, I know you're a captain at, believe U14. When did they tell you were captain? Was that at the beginning of the season? And were you expecting it, in all truth?
I was not expecting it. I think one thing that I kind of was shocked by was I didn't really have much rapport with the coaches because I was very new. I know that there were some girls who were a bit more known by the club coming into it, but yeah, they told us kind of early on in the season. I was very honored, obviously, but yeah, I was not expecting it.
Well, we're here saying bye to our first guest, Kate Paukovic. Kate, hopefully you enjoyed yourself on the Real 10 podcast, and we're excited, extremely grateful of you being part of it. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I had lots of fun. Thanks so much for having me.
Would you recommend being a part of this podcast?
Yeah, it was a great time.
Oh, that's where I gotta stop you. Real 10 is for only Real 10s. So not everybody gets invited, Kate. But what we'll say is you're gonna invite our next guest.
Okay.
We're gonna go with this ball, and you're gonna give a through ball to that player and make sure that they receive that pass.
Okay.